Be with you today. And if you don't know, agape means unconditional love, the love of God, the love of the infinite operating through the human heart. What we teach at Agape is that everything begins and ends with self-love. Without self-love, our ability to love another does not exist. And what we've come to understand, the more we explore this idea, is that self-love is really to self-accept. Realize that you're unique and everyone else is unique. And because we're unique, there's nothing you've got to become other than yourself. The more you can embrace that, the more freedom you have. And that's what we're going to explore today. We're going to explore the idea of what is this road to freedom. But before we do that, let's go within. Let's invoke and go into the stillness, into the allness to remember who we are. So I invite you to get into a comfortable seated upright position, back straight, hands gently resting on your lap. Close your eyes and bring your awareness to the breath. Consciously breathing life in, consciously breathing life out. With every inhale, nourishing. With every exhale, purifying. Realize that life is breathing life into you. Life is breathing life into you because you are life. So I invite you to envision a ball, a beautiful ball of white light above your head, about 18 to 20 inches. This ball of light is the infinite. And as you breathe, visualize that light moving down through the top of your head, through your third eye, your throat, and into your heart. And then visualize that breath moving out from your heart into every cell, the space between the cells, into every thought, the space between the thoughts, and to surround you with this divine light. We are creating a spiritual cocoon, a spiritual bubble where we come together to experience our oneness, which is truly our most natural state. So we begin together, consciously visualizing the breath moving in from that divine portal into our heart and out into the cells of our body. It is perfect. It is magnificent. It is glorious. It is grand. And so now, breathe in and breathe out. 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 Having filled our awareness that we are one with the infinite, we listen to the wisdom that resides in our heart. And we ask our heart the question, what is my next step to evolve into a higher expression of love? What is my next step to evolve into a higher expression of love? Without judgment, without rationalizing, without judging, we sit and we listen. knowing that divine wisdom is always with us. We live in a state of expectancy. We live with an inner knowing that we will always be provided with our next step. And we live in joyful expectation as we listen to our heart. Give us the guidance that we are seeking to be the greatest expression of love, the most unique expression of love that we can be. So it is in this state of connection, of love, that we start to come back to this time, to this place, to this day, to this body. Gently begin to move your fingers, your hands, maybe your head. And when you're ready, open your eyes, put a big smile on your face, and come back to you, to perfect you. Well, today, I thought I'd talk about the road to freedom. You know, I've done a lot of study. I've looked at things from so many perspectives. And I looked at what is the one thing that every person on the planet has at the core that they want more of than anything else. And what that has come down to is freedom. We want to feel free to do what we want, when we want, how we want, more than we want anything. And we will only suppress that freedom to a certain extent. Think about if you were in a relationship and your partner was controlling you, you would take it for a while probably. You would say, well, there's a benefit. But after a while, you're going to rebel because you want the freedom to be you. You don't want to be like anyone else wants you to be. That's silly. Why would you be like someone else wants you to be when it's not who you desire? You are unique, and no one knows better what your life should be like, and it should be what you can choose your life to be like than you do. And you want the freedom to choose. And think about that. When a child turns 2 years old, immediately they're starting to say no. They're trying to tell their parents, hey, I don't want to do what you want to do. I want to do what I want to do. Life is a playground for me. I want to explore. I want to play in this playground. If you don't want to play in this playground, well, that's something else. So what I want to say to you is this. This road to freedom is the most beautiful path that we can possibly take. And the road to freedom lies through our conscious and directed use of the natural forces and laws of the universe. You see, I talked about this just a moment ago. You have the ability to choose. You have the ability to choose where you focus your energy. And where you focus, your energy goes. And if you understand science, you understand that everything is energy. Everything is energy, and at the same time, everything is consciousness. You cannot separate consciousness and energy. How you use your consciousness is how you direct the natural forces and laws of the universe. So when you understand that your choices can either be freeing or they can imprison you. Here's what I know, is that love is always about expansion. And freedom and love go hand in hand. Fear is always about contraction. And fear and prison are the same. And here's what I also know. Most people are living in fear. 90% of all relationships are based on fear. Trying to please the other person, the other partner, not knowing if you're good enough, if you're worthy enough. scared to lose them, instead of being free to love them in your most perfect and unique way. The laws of the universe are simply this. The creative power in the universe responds to who you are. What is the vibration of the feeling you're emanating? Is it love and expansion, or is it fear and contraction? Look at your life. Look at your life right now. Is it expanding or is it contracting? And you'll know whether or not you're living in fear or you're living in love. You see, before we can become free, we have to be willing to look into the unknown, become aware of, and understand that there are natural laws that respond to us. And this is really key because most people want to feel comfortable. And the only way to feel comfortable is to live in the known. Well, if you're living in the known, nothing new is going to happen in your life. You're going to be repeating the same cycle of life over and over and over again. But what your innate nature knows is that everything you're looking for is beyond the known. It is the unknown. And what we do is, the way I do it at least, is I start to build a bigger mental image that takes me into the unknown. And I go into the unknown one step at a time, knowing I'm divinely guided. So I have no fear, or the fear is greatly reduced taking one step at a time. If you're just going to run in and do 1,000-mile dash, not that you can do 1,000-mile dash, but you could energetically. But if you did that 1,000-mile dash, you'd be so far in the unknown, it might be scary. You might not like it because you're fearful of the unknown. But if you take one step in, and think about it, as you're taking that step in, you could have one foot still in the known, one in the unknown. You step in the unknown, you start, oh, this isn't so bad. Then you step in again. Both feet are in the unknown. That happened for me today. I'm on my continuing journey of doing a cold tub or a cold shower every day. Right now, it's a cold tub. And today was day number 32. And it was the coldest day yet. The water temperature, I had to break the ice on top of the tub today, and the water temperature was 32. And let me tell you, that is unknown to me. I've never done 32. I did 34 the other day, and that was just, but today I said, okay, one foot in, then I put the next foot in. Then I sat down. Then I hunkered down. Then I started to breathe. And I kept taking deep breaths, one breath at a time, one breath at a time, one breath at a time, until the timer said 2 minutes. And then I got up. But that was in the unknown. It's a simple example, but it's true about anything. It's the idea that, can you be in a relationship and maybe you've had your guard up? Maybe you've had a mask on. And you decide, I can't be in the relationship and not be me anymore. So you take a little bit of the mask off, a little bit off every day, and you get comfortable with living without a mask. What I've come to understand is most people have a mask on all the time because they live in fear. It's so much better. Your relationships are going to be so much better. But most importantly, your relationship with yourself is going to be so much better if you just took the darn mask off and realized that you are enough just as you are. The created world is one of law and order. Without order, the world or life would not exist. So understand that in your life, there's always order. And the order is that this law, this natural law, is responding to who you are. And whatever you decide to become, it responds to you. And it's not going to destroy itself because it can't. There's always going to be balance. There's always balance in your life, right here, right now, always balance. And when you understand that, you realize it's all good. It's all about further growing. It's all about going greater and greater into the unknown. Think about this. Think about going back 5 years in your life. When you thought, my God, it's ending, I can't deal with this. Guess what? You're alive today. It passed. Here's the key thing. Here's a mantra. This is one of my favorite mantras that I use quite often. This too shall pass. Everything does. Everything that you feared in the past has passed. But yet you keep fearing because you've built a habit. You've been domesticating into believing that fear is the natural way, not understanding that this created world is one of law and order, and what you put out, the order you put out, is the order you get back. You don't order a veggie burger and get a Wagyu burger. You don't order a pizza and get Chinese. What you order, you get. And how you order is your thought atmosphere. Your thoughts, your words, your actions, and your feelings align toward a specific result, held persistently and consistently, consciously and unconsciously. What you're putting out there, the universe says, of course, we'll give you more of that. So your job is to understand the law and order and to use it. Ernest Holmes described it this way. We have a conscious mind that operates within a subjective field, which is creative. The conscious mind is spirit. The subjective mind is law. One is a complement of the other, and no real individuality could be expressed without a combination of both. So let's break that down a little bit. What he's saying is we have a conscious mind. That's the mind that chooses. We have a subjective mind. That's the law. It's subject to what we choose. The conscious mind is what? Spirit. The subjective mind is law. You cannot separate them. You cannot have spirit without law or law without spirit. They're one and the same thing. Guess what? You can't have form without spirit. You can't have form without law. It is the Trinity. Spirit, law, form. It's Father, Holy Ghost, Son, if you're converting it from traditional Christianity. The Father is spirit, that which chooses. The Holy Ghost is that which creates, whatever the Father chooses. The Son represents the form created that the Father put into the Spirit, the Holy Spirit. You see, law and order complement each other. Our individuality comes from how we choose. That's what makes us unique, our choices. And no two people will ever choose the same things. They will have a life of choices, thousands and thousands, millions upon millions of choices. And that's why no two people are the same, because they haven't made the same choices from the very moment of conception. One choice will make you different than everybody else. And isn't that great? You are on the leading edge of you. And you will always be on the leading edge of you. So why would you try to be anything other than you and be on your own leading edge? You see, we don't have to know why this is true, as it's beyond our ability to understand. But we can prove these laws to be true by using them to consciously create our life's experience. This is what I had to grasp when I first started studying science of mind, the law of cause and effect. I said, well, how is this true? That doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. But once you start to test it, and you test it by building a new belief, you build a new belief. And once that belief is there, you will demonstrate that. If you haven't built the new belief, you will not demonstrate the new desire. And then you start to look at your life and say, why do I have this? And then you go, oh, because I have this belief. And you understand that Jesus said, it is done unto you as you believe. He gave you the key to creating your best life ever, or the creating any life ever. It's through your beliefs. And this is where the work is. Test it. Prove it for yourself. Test it on small things, then bigger things, then bigger things, and bigger things. And guess what? The universe will always be giving you more to test it on. You see, we are created out of the infinite. Therefore, the infinite's creative nature is within us. Our role as microcosms of the macrocosm is to eternally create. Did you get that? That's our job, is to eternally create as only we can. And realize we are a microcosm of the macrocosm. We are a drop of water of the ocean, and all of the properties of the ocean are within the drop of water that we are. But we are not all the ocean. And the drop of water that we are, you can take that and translate that into a wave. And the decisions and the beliefs that we have create the type of wave that we are. But yet, beneath the surface of the water, we're all part of the ocean. We're all part of oneness. This creative mind that responds to the nature of our thought is the same creative mind that creates and governs everything. So there's nothing it cannot accomplish. It is only limitations within our own mind that stops our ability to create. Now, they're natural laws. You may be my age and you happen to be 6'1", well, you're not going to be able to use the law and create yourself to be 6'5". But there's so many things. I know of so many ways where people have been dead and came back to life. People have had terminal diseases and came back to perfect health using this law. People who were broke and destitute, who became wealthy and abundant using this law. But it takes time and you investing your spiritual coin in building beliefs that are in alignment with what you want. You see, our purpose is to remember who we are, use our power, experience our creation, and begin again, eternally. For all of existence, we will remember that we were created out of oneness, and that creative out of oneness, we have a creative power. And we use that creative power, and then we get to experience what we create. And then, because it's in our DNA, we start the process again and again and again. And I believe we do this eternally. I don't know if the form is like the human form, but I know that as a point of consciousness with an infinite consciousness, I will eternally be discovering how great the oneness that I am a part of is. I love being on this journey with you. Share it with me as we explore life together using our power and moving on the road of freedom. I want to thank you for being with me here today. And if you enjoyed this message, I would love for you to go to agapespiritualcenter.com or the link below and make a donation to support us. I truly believe that the law of circulation is always working. If you are receiving, giving is the natural thing. I know that to be true in any aspect of life, that there's always a circle of giving and receiving. So I would love that. If you'd love to plug in more with the things that we do at Agape, go to agapespiritualcenter.com. Go to our calendar, look at it and see where can you plug in. Most everything we do is on virtual. We do an in-person Sunday service, but we also do one online. That's what you're seeing right now. I would ask that you sign up for the newsletter. You'll see it at the top. This way you get my daily thought, and you'll get once a week, you're going to get all the offerings that are coming up at Agape. I would love for you to share this journey at a deeper level. And if you like this, share it. Tell everyone you know. That's the greatest gift you can give, is the gift of information, the gift of love, the gift of self-empowerment. Thank you. Thank you for investing your time by watching this. Know how grateful I am and how much you are loved. Until next time.